let's graph the line f of x equals negative 3/4 x plus 3 on the grid provided. So we're going to start there. Reminder that our slope is negative 3/4. It's the number in front of the x once our equation solved for y. Our y-intercept is 3. And we can come over here and graph. B equals 3. And then our slope is negative 3/4. Rise over run. That means we're going to go down 3 to the right 4. Down 3 to the right 4. We could also go up 3 to the left 4. Up 3 to the left 4. And I'll try to draw a straight line. Better than expected. That is our f of x. So what we want to do with that graph now is we want to find the inverse of that graph, and then we're going to graph that part as well. So if you remember the steps for graphing an inverse, what we start with is we rewrite f of x with y. So this is y equals negative 3/4 x plus 3. We switch the x and the y. X goes where y went, y goes where x went. And we have to solve for y. Well, the issue at this point here is that fraction. And I need to just tell you to be very careful with that fraction. We're going to subtract 3 from both sides. And we get x minus 3 equals negative 3/4 y. We want to solve for y. But again, it's the fraction that's causing people some trouble. And when we do here, let's get rid of the fraction. And there's a 4 in the denominator, which is the bottom of the fraction. So let's multiply this side of the equation by 4. And if we multiply the right side of the equation by 4, we have to multiply the left side of the equation by 4. And in fact, we're going to multiply the entire left side by 4. But what happens when we multiply the right side by 4, and the reason that we do it, is that these 4's cancel out, and we end up with negative 3y. In other words, no more fraction. I'm trying to put this into slope-intercept form because we're going to have to graph it, and that also is the solving for y. And we end up with 4x minus 12 equals negative 3y. So now, once we divide by negative 3, we can put this into slope-intercept form. We end up with 4x over 3, negative 3, don't let me forget that sign. Negative divided by negative is positive 4, negative 12 divided by that, equals our y. And the inverse notation for this, and I just need you to be at least familiar with what that is f to the negative 1 of x. I am not picky about that notation. Check with your Algebra 2 teacher if you have somebody else. But now we're going to graph this, because it says graph your answer from part A and label the graph f of x, f to the negative 1 of x. So our y-intercept in this graph is 4. Our slope is negative 4/3. So we're going to start over here with 4. And then it's up 4 to the left 3. Or it's down 4 to the right 3. draw a picture. And we can label the green one f to the negative 1 of x. So what we've graphed is we've graphed the original function. We've also graphed the line, the inverse function. And then the last question here says, well, state the equation that the line, state the equation of the line that the inverses reflect over. Well, the line that the inverses reflect over is y equals x. And I think you probably remember where it is more than you remember what it is. Because where it is, it starts at the bottom, and it goes, bottom left goes to the upper right, and then to the middle.